If you still cannot decide what your online course is going to be, well, you have come to the right place. I'm going to help you actually solve that problem by the end of this video. We're going to talk about your thought process, what you're probably thinking, what your problems are going to be if you keep on spiraling this way and not actually deciding on an online course and what to do about it. So sit back, relax, and I hope that you're going to learn a lot from this video. So if you're new here, my name is Demi Bernice. I have been creating online courses since 2019. I have helped other people create theirs. And right now I have this channel talking about just online courses and nothing else. This is one thing that I'm absolutely a nerd of: marketing online courses and creating a curriculum, which is like the perfect thing together. It's like a really good married couple, like me and my husband. So we're going to have a really good coffee chat about it today. We ordered coffee from the outside because we don't have coffee beans anymore. A few months back, as I'm recording this video, I actually created this personality test for online course creators called the eCreator Archetypes test. The reason why I created that is because I wanted for people to have a very simple diagnostic, be able to help them identify themselves as to where they are in an online course journey. You're thinking, huh? Online course? Creating an online course is actually a journey? Everything is a journey. And the thing is, I'm also sick of other people talking about like, hey, you should do like webinars, you should do low ticket offers, you should do this and that. Because truth of the matter is, every single one of us who's in an online course creator journey, we have different phases. We can't just say that a webinar would work best for this person. We can't just say that this person actually needs a free lead magnet. Like, we are all very different. Financial wise, comfortability wise, things that align to us when we are building our businesses. And that's basically one of the things why we built our businesses, is because we want to be in alignment with what we're trying to create. But of course, you know, there's a lot of people out there that are planning to like sell us different things, and so they also want to get their message out there, which totally understand. Like, it's all like types of different noises, and as for me as a marketer, I'm also trying to put my very own noise out there, but in hopes that you also get clarity of your own. So I created that. It's just a very simple test. If you haven't taken it, there's a link below this video, and it helps you identify which part of the journey are you. And the very first stage, which I'm going to talk about today, is the Ember Archetype. These are the people who have not rather decided what their online course is going to be yet. They're just stuck with just so many ideas and being overwhelmed about what to do and what not to do, and you know, all these sorts of different things, because they're also confused with them themselves. Part of it is actually fear of creating something that might flop, which is like totally normal. We're going to talk about that later. But also, it's the fear of being seen, it's the fear of success, like all these sorts of different things. If you haven't created an online course before, this is very, very normal, because you are moving forward to something that is very uncertain. You don't know what that's like. You don't know what it feels like to wear the shoes of a person who has actually created an online course yet. And so you have like so many things going around your head, but it's basically just your defense mechanism. It's your fight or flight mode. It's telling you, hey, what if we do this? Maybe it's safer. What if we do that? Then maybe it is safer. It's like 20 times safer. Maybe we go there. So that's why you have like multiple ideas in your head. Now, I have a couple of notes here that I'd like to read to you. And this is like the document that I actually use in order to put the message out there about the archetypes test that I created. So I call this the Ember Archetype. Again, there are 4 archetypes. You're going to learn more about them in the next coming videos. So I say here, the overview of an Ember Archetype is right now you're laying the groundwork, figuring out your niche, your audience, and the offer that will actually sell. You might have ideas floating around, but nothing's solid just yet. This is where it gets tricky, because you need to have a singular solid course idea, since you wouldn't be able to validate multiple courses at once. You can only do it one at a time, which I'm going to tell you something like a trick that we can do if you have a lot of course ideas. You learn how to focus all your energy on one thing until it either numerically fails or succeeds with proper KPIs in place. Your goal as an Ember are three things. Number one, you have to have a winning course idea, which is like, what the fuck? Like, I'm right here thinking about an online course and you're telling me to have a winning course idea. Okay, I get you. I'm going to explain a little bit about that later. Number two, the audience that fits the course best and the offer that will make people say yes, which is like a little bit contrary to what Alex Hermosi says, that make an offer where people feel stupid saying no. Kind of like that. Okay, now let's talk about your common problems as an Ember. Number one, you probably have an endless research loop. You're watching endless tutorials, reading every blog post, writing every chat GPT prompt, and collecting screenshots of other people's courses, but you haven't actually started testing your own idea. This is again your fight or flight mode talking to you. You're like, okay, like this person created a, let's say, a website course and it's selling really well, maybe I should do that, right? Because it's selling really well, then I don't need to think about if it's going to flop because it's selling for others. Okay, now that is a very, very dangerous route to go because you are comparing other people's data to your own. Again, this is the reason why I created the archetypes, because we are all in different journeys, we're all in different phases that could probably be a little bit similar, but depending on our circumstances, some of us have already had an audience when we started, some of us has a really huge capital to run ads to, which is a lot easier to get eyeballs out, eyeballs in rather. And then there's also some of us who are already teaching live or in person before we started creating our online course, which also takes a very different tenure or expertise, right? So we are all different, but there is a similar journey that we all go through, and it's very bad if we keep on comparing numericals and KPIs of the other person towards our own. So that's probably something that you wouldn't want to do. Okay, so how do you stop these endless research loop? The thing is, you're really not going to find answers unless you start moving to the next archetype, which is the igniter. Talk about that later. And actually decide on something or a course idea that you would like to validate. Okay? Now, again, you have to be aware that while you are in this process, your fight or flight mode is telling you multiple things in attempts to help create a safe space for you because you are currently going through something uncertain and unfamiliar. So, in order to stop the endless research loop, maybe limit yourself, okay? Just to satisfy the itch. In my language, we call that tambal sa ulit. Okay, so it's a little bit weird when you hear it, but it's just, the translation is like a medicine to just scratch the itch. That's what it is. And you need to have that in order to just get it out of the way, but also not get drowned by it. So what I tell people is that you should probably limit your research to just maybe 1 to 2 hours every day, or maybe just 1 hour at the very most. Because I think that 2 hours of a research loop of something that you're not going to find answers to is like a waste of time. So probably 30 minutes to an hour every single day just to satisfy whatever it is that you're trying to satisfy, whatever questions you're trying to get answers from. And hopefully you are getting or watching this video in order to be satisfied with it. Okay, so there's that. Your problem number two is course hopping addiction. You keep buying courses about how to make courses, thinking the next one will give you the missing piece. So here you are again, trying to find different types of information out there to the world, hoping it will give you answers. Now, I would say, as a person who has created 9 courses before, helping other people build theirs, there's really not that one course that can give you all the answers, but the best teacher really is the experience of being able to do it. As long as you are able to do it the right way or in the right order, because I have met so many people that go from this stage, the Ember stage, to trying to make it to the Rainmaker stage, which is the third stage, and skipping the one next to this, which is the Igniter. Now, we're going to, of course, have a dedicated video for the Igniter, but I'm just telling you, all you need to do right now is understand that the next thing that goes after this crazy, overwhelming swarm of ideas is to pick one and then at the same time validate if it works. If there is actually a target market that is willing to buy it, if they are actually interested in it. Okay? Okay, now as a person who offers done for you services for any or all the journeys there is, or all the phases there is in becoming a course creator, I actually do not offer a service for embers. And why is that? That is because the problem is just here. And that can be solved particularly by just having a detailed to-do list that I'm going to give you right now. The very first thing that you would like to do is to brain dump your skills, passions, and expertise. Just put them all together in one notepad, in one paper, and ask yourself, like, what are the things that you feel that you are good at? What are the things that you can get paid for? Basically, the whole Ikigai circle, if you are familiar about it. So just brain up every single thing in there, the ideas that you have, because it has to be released from here, because you wouldn't be able to organize your thoughts if you're not going to be writing them. So you have to make sure that it's out. Okay? Second thing that you would like to do is shortlist 2 to 3 topics you're credible in. Now, I would like to emphasize the last word, which is credibility. Now, to a lot of people, this is paralyzing because they're telling themselves that, hey, I shouldn't probably create an online course because I'm not credible on this and that and this and that. And then there are also types of people who thinks that they are very much credible about this very experience, or they just really want passive income with the courses, that they just teach something that they don't really know like it's the back of their hand. Now, I want to tell you, you have to find the sweet spot in between those two. You have to be confident about the skills and your expertise and your experience as a person who plans to teach this, but at the same time, know that there could be probably be answers or questions that you don't know the answers to, and that's completely fine. You don't need to make this like a really huge deal. Okay. What I like about what Hermosi tells people is that do awesome shit and then teach people how to do the awesome shit. I would definitely agree. So if you are in a place right now where you feel like you don't have enough credibility in order to teach this or do that, then try and ramping up that very experience first before you start teaching it. Because I would like for you to know exactly what you're talking about with credibility and proof. Most especially that right now, the types of buyers that we actually have, they're very discerning. Like they would want to see a lot of proof about who you are and what you do and like every single thing, like probably all the track record that you can put in your badge, right? As a person who can do this very skill or who can actually replicate this very process, right? With the course that they're trying to get their hands on. So it's super important that you get yourself into something that you are most credible with. Now, with that said, later on, when you pass this stage, you would want to also validate that, okay? See if there is actually a demand to it, right? Now, here's the awesome bit. Once you already have those course topics in your hand, let's say at maximum you have like 3 different types of courses that you are planning to do. Now, I would like for you to make sure to jot them down and try the very first one. Okay, try validating the very first one. You go to the Igniter video. Right now, as I'm recording this, I haven't created that yet. But make sure to come back to this YouTube channel and go get instructions on how you can become an igniter so that you can start validating that idea. Now, once that course idea is being validated, congrats, you have like a paying or a product that you can monetize. But if you're like one of my students whose name's Shira was my student and then became my client when she got a done for you marketing plan for me. I'm super, super proud of that person, because one of the common challenges that I always get with my audience, or with the people that are listening to me and like trying to absorb the things that I'm teaching, is that they create a course in full before they even validate it, which makes it a lot harder for marketers like me to be able to market it, because we cannot create a demand. We cannot create a demand for something, especially if it doesn't solve an everyday problem. Okay, so that is super bad, because then you have wasted time, money, effort, and energy in creating a full-blown course. God knows how much money you spent on that, and God knows how much time you actually used to make that happen. And it's not selling because you actually haven't validated it, which is like the common problem that I always encounter on an everyday. Now, what Shira did is she made sure that she followed my instructions, which is like, kudos to you, girl. So she got into one of my courses and she followed the process. She was able to create or validate this. We're going to talk more about it in the Igniter video. It's okay. What do you need?
To kiss you.
Okay.
Okay, we'll go back now.
That's it?
It's very important.
Okay. So what Shira did, what Shira did is that she tried to validate a social media marketing course, or management, rather, social media management course. And she created a sales page for it with a curriculum and whatsoever. She launched it to the world and no one bought. And she's like, oh my God, like, good thing that she didn't create the course, the full course, before she tried to sell it, because it just saved her a ton of money, a bunch of time, and she's not going to do the same mistake that other people are doing, right? So she came to me again. She said, okay, like, this thing didn't work. What are your ideas? What do you have in mind? I looked into her social media, like all the social media platforms that she has, and I noticed that she's been doing UGC videos. And I said, no wonder why your people do not want to become a social media manager, because your content is more about UGC. Why don't you make a UGC course? Because she was then able to validate, right? Or like, there is a pattern there in your audience. People, like, the engagement of people is there. So you might want to teach them that instead. Now, imagine she has like the social media course idea, the UGC course idea, and if it's anything like you probably have like 2, 3, or more different types of ideas that you would like to validate and try out to the world, and that's awesome. Just don't build the entire course right away. Okay, now in those first 4 course ideas, you try and validate one, create a sales page, do the curriculum, and this is like already touching a little bit of the Igniter video, but, or the Igniter archetype, but validate that first, and then if it doesn't work, go back to being an Ember, try the second course idea, and then validate it. If it doesn't work, try it again until you finish all course ideas that might work for you and your current audience. Okay, so there's that. If you are an Ember, again, this is just your fight or flight mode that's telling you to be more safe, because you're going through something that is uncertain. And hopefully you are able to write that down and proceed to the next step, which is the Igniter. And I'll be publishing a video about the Igniter very soon. Hopefully you have learned a lot from this very video. I forgot to sip my coffee because I was very busy talking to you. It's still very good. And of course, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.